We have to appreciate that the judges are few. For a long time, the judiciary has requested for more judges because more cases are filed compared to the cases that are disposed of. The disposal rate is quite low. You need more judges to be able to handle those matters. And if we are to resolve or speed up the process of case disposal, we need to take proactive steps. We need to be deliberate about it. Sometime back we had mediation. That did not work. There was a requirement of all cases to first go through mediation. And if we are to go back to ADR, that's the alternative dispute resolution, as a means of resolving those various cases, we need to find out why mediation, which is a form of ADR, did not work. In my view, the reason why it did not work, yet it has capacity to work, is that the timeline was 60 days. They would file a case and you have 60 days within when to dispose it of. These are disputes which people have been having for years. You are not going to put them on pressure, resolve it now. I think they needed to give it more time. You could say, as a must, have a mediation registry, have a judge heading it. And before you even file the suit, just file your mediation. File the mediation itself. Let people appreciate it, have a mindset that much as I've gone for mediation, it is another way of my case being disposed of. So, I'm saying let us go back to it, but let us adopt it differently. One of them, have a registry dedicated to that, headed by a judge. File a mediation with the knowledge of the parties that this matter should be resolved within 30 days. Now, no, not 30 days, I mean 90 days as opposed to 60 days before. Have mediators who are paid. Initially you do apply to volunteer. As long as you have some mediation or training experience, you'd be considered and you come from your chambers and volunteer. I don't think that is workable. Okay, put it in the mind of the mediator, this is business. It's not just voluntary kind of service. You are going to be faced with voluminous documents. As a mediator, much as you're not supposed to delve into the matters, you're supposed to, one way or the other, guide the parties. The parties make the decision, but you also have a role. Now, you're not going to ask a mediator to read thousands of pages of documents for free in the name of volunteering. Let us move from that approach. Because in any case, in the event that it's not resolved, you'll go back to the judges who are paid. Have a registry dedicated to mediation. Before you even rush to file a suit, have your matter first go through mediation. Give it, say, 90 days. Now, I'm convinced if we use that approach with the mediators who are paid, this matter will be resolved. Previously, they would say this matter should be handled within 60 days. But you're going before a mediator who is basically volunteering. If I have other priority matters which has monetary value attached to it, chances are very high that I will give it priority. I may not come before you to you, the parties who are having a dispute. Now, once the parties have gone through the mediation process and now we need a final document that can be endorsed by the judge. At that time, they can even convert in form of mediation agreement, mediation settlement, which is also enforceable. Or you can even call it consent judgment. That will, in my view, make a big difference. That's one. Two, we have another form of dispute resolution, which is arbitration. Now, unlike a mediation, with arbitration, the parties must agree from the onset, okay, that yes, in the event of a dispute, we should arbitrate. But there's also an option for you to arbitrate or to agree to arbitrate after a dispute has arisen. Okay? We should also have a section within the commercial division dedicated to advising the parties. So, okay, I mean that role can also be played even within the mediation register itself. At the point of your file, you know the kind of matter you have. Most times, these big disputes, both parties want it resolved, by the way. I'm holding the money because I'm also expecting something. Maybe I've also counterclaimed. So I can't just pay you. We are demanding from each other. So parties will be willing to have their matter resolved through arbitration, where mediation is not possible. Now, We had Center for Arbitration and Dispute Resolution. We need, which is basically a government entity. We also have the private ones, what we call the International Center for Arbitration and Mediation in Kampala. We need to empower these institutions and make them build capacity, for especially the government institution. The private, there's that drive when you're in the private sector. The drive is different. But for arbitration, over time, we have got several people who have trained, who are now arbitrators.